Evening, YouTube land and Facebookians. Just doing a little speaker port revision. I listened to my friends. A couple of them kind of talked some sense into me about the base ways and how they need to be long in this long box, and the idea of the big box is for it to be big. So here's what we're going to do, or here's what we did. I had a baffle standing in here with a 4-inch gap at the top, and several of my friends that I know make big bass, at least a couple of them do anyways, suggested to me that I take this baffle out of here. So I did it. I took the screws out. I got lucky. I already got the faceplate glued on around the 12 port because I wanted that to dry really good before I got done with it. So I got it all glued with Gorilla Wood Glue, and it's never ever coming off again. But luckily, I only had 2 screws in the one end of this port. I didn't screw it all the way, or this baffle. I didn't screw it all the way because I didn't know for sure if I was going to leave it. So when I took those 2 screws out, took my fancy $100 Snap-on dead blow hammer and gave it a couple whacks, it came right out and it didn't even break. It just ripped the glue off. So, I mean, it was hard. I had to beat the hell out of it to get it out of there, but it came out. So what I've done, you can't see because I have no light in this stupid box. Let me turn this, maybe if I turn this light on, it might help see a little. Probably not. Basically, I just took that baffle out and I laid it flat against the back. Because in that chamber where I had that baffle in there, you'll be able to see a little bit from here. In that chamber where I had that baffle in there, it was only single thick MDF on the back of this. I just left the chamber single thick on the port. So what I did was I took that piece that I had made up for a baffle and I smashed it down in that hole. So now it's double thick wood all the way across the box instead of single thick. And it fits just perfect, so I can screw it right down in the hole and it'll just be double thick all the way. And what that does is it transitions perfectly into my speaker port 45. I've got a 45 right here in the corner back. Well, it's not quite a 45. It's more like a 30. But I got this piece of wood angled here that sits on top of my nailer that I use to nail the back of the box together to make it strong. Got that 45 sitting on top of there. So once I put that piece down on top of there, well, look at that. It fits just perfectly smooth. So now I have a perfectly smooth transition to come out of this hole. And that's a 4-inch gap at the bottom, which with an 8-inch hole, this thing's supposed to be tuned at, or an 8-inch port by this height, it's supposed to be tuned at like 38 hertz. And with a 4-inch port, it's supposed to be tuned at like 20-something hertz. So it's probably coming out about 32, 34 hertz tuning, something like that with this port. So man, this thing should bang. Because I mean, it's double thick everywhere now. So yeah, thanks guys, thanks for the help. I'm going to be finishing up doing all my perimeter screws. I got the double thick top, so I'm going with a screw about every 2 to 3 inches all the way around the perimeter of the whole top of the box. And then the whole top of the box is glued underneath with wood glue between the 2 sheets. And then it's all screwed all the way across. And then all the subs are going to be screwed in, double screwing all of that together too. And then I'm also going to have, several other pieces of bracing and things. But because of the way I've constructed this, I really don't need to put any cross braces. You see, this side of the box hooks right in on top of this one, right? And then these are going to be perimeter screwed into the sides of the box, or the sides of the face, all the way around. And then I have this baffle, the divider, that makes it into 2 separate boxes in the center. So it's going to be screwed in there too. So there's not going to be any way that this double baffle can flex when it's got all this bracing and a big X underneath of there. So I don't think I have to worry about putting any bracing in it or anything, which just makes this a 10 cubic foot lower chamber. Now that's pretty crazy, ain't it? 9.96 cubic feet just for my 212s. That should be big enough. 4.5 cubic feet apiece. Each sub is large, so it might take up a half a cubic foot, so that means I got 4 cubic feet apiece for these subs. So if they don't work and I'm not happy with them, well, I'll throw the MA Audios up on eBay and get rid of them, and I'll go get some big nasty DD12s, and then I'll have DD10s and DD12s. So, you know, we're kind of doing this in stages a little bit at a time, but it'll work out in the end. So now that's it, guys. I'm cleaning it up, siliconing all my joints, siliconing around my perimeter again, and then I'm going to screw it to it and start taking my truck apart. So this is it. Last night for my truck to be together, and then we're going to put this big beast in there. So thanks for all the help, guys. Have a good night. Peace.